So sorry, Stephen. This happens quite a lot when we introduce guests that we're quite excited to meet, is that Tim's voice breaks as they introduce you. So have you heard Stephen Fry? Thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy to have you.
It is entirely my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. And thank you for that extraordinary segment that I watched all the way through. And I mean, I don't want to take up too much more of your time about politics, but what is a democracy sausage?
That is a great question. I will leave this question to Tim.
Stephen, this is one of the foundational pillars of our country.
Yeah.
When you go and vote traditionally at a primary school, often the local primary school will put on a sausage sizzle to raise money for the local school.
What is going on in your country?
I know. We do want to transition to a banana republic, but at the moment,
very good.
Democracy sausage. There we go.
Well, it's a lot more fun than the one that's going on over the other side of the Pacific.
Yes, you've actually got a sausage running for the presidency over there, I believe.
Very good.
Well, what do you have on election day when you vote in the UK? Because recently there was an election in the UK. Sir Keir Starmer is the new Prime Minister.
Rites of passage.
We have democracy reign, democracy mist, democracy misery, really, is more or less the British. That's what the gift we've given the world.
Well, we are here because, excitingly, you are back down under, and it is so great to have you in Australia. What do you love doing while you're down here? What do you love about being in Australia?
Oh, goodness me. Well, I mean, aside from the extraordinarily warm and kind welcome, of course, such as the one you just gave me, it is a really pleasant place to wander about and see new things. You know, there's the animal side. You go to Rottnest and see the quokkas. If you're in Perth, as I am at the moment, if you're in Melbourne, you can go to Phillip Island and see the fairy penguins. If you're in Sydney, you can see, well, not much really, but buildings, nice buildings.
Interestingly, quokka and penguin are in the democracy sausage.
No.
So that is...
Oh, no, don't say so.
That's right.
So it's good to tie that in.
Well, you are here in Australia for an incredible tour across the country, an evening with Stephen Fry. What can we expect from an evening with Stephen Fry?
Well, I've done 2 shows now, and they've both been different. That to me is the exciting part. I stand in the wings before coming on thinking, I wonder what I shall share with this audience today. That there are certain things that come together. The story of my childhood, which was a peculiar one. It ended in prison. So I felt, you know, that you'd like to know that your ancestors have a lot in common with me. Then in the second half, we have these things. You know what quick response codes are, don't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. No, can I? It's a QR code. That's what QR code is.
Yes, it's simply a QR code, but they're in the lobby and elsewhere for people as they come in and during the interval to ask questions. And I encourage them to be as rude, as impertinent, as peculiar, or, as I put it, as Australian as they'd like to be in asking any question they want. And then in the interval, I sit staring at all the ones coming in and I triage the best and most peculiar and the most original ones, if possible, and answer them. And that's terrific fun.
When you're out and about, what are the sort of questions that you tend to be asked by members of the public?
Oh, you're that guy on Top Gear, aren't you? I know. Well, not everybody, but I am aware that as a large, fleshy Englishman, I can look a bit like Jeremy Clarkson or James May with the hair. I'm a kind of blend of the two of them. So there's some of that. Or Where's Hugh? Or My Children Go to Bed with You. Which I think they mean that they listen to the Harry Potter tapes, the audiobook that I do of the Harry Potter at night. I assume that's what they mean. If not, I'm in real trouble.
Can I ask you about the Harry Potter audiobooks? Because a lot of our audience would have grown up listening to you as the voice of those audiobooks.
Ooh,
but am I... Yeah, 4 of them. There we go. There we go.
Oh, gosh, you were ready with the slide, weren't you? That's very impressive.
Well...
Yeah, It's amazing what you can do with AI.
Yeah.
No, it's...
But I just wanted to ask about that because am I right in saying that there was one particular phrase in the first Harry Potter book that, that tripped you up?
Yes, it was a simple three-word phrase that I'm sure all of you can say easily, but for some reason, something about the way my tongue meets my teeth meant that I just couldn't say Harry pocketed it. I can say Harry, obviously. I can say pocketed, and I can say it. But Harry pocketed it. Harry pocketed it. And I tried and tried. The engineer behind the glass and the producer were screaming with laughter. Jo Rowling, the author, wasn't in that day, so I called her at lunchtime. We parked it because I just couldn't get it out. And I said, Jo, do you mind? I can't say Harry pocketed it. Do you mind if I say Harry put it in his pocket, which I can say? Can I do that? And she said after a pause, no. And not only that, the phrase Harry pocketed it is in every book after that. She left a little bomb for me every time a new book came out.
That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Hey, Stephen, you've done so much in your illustrious career. There's so much left to come. I just wanted to go back to one moment. I grew up on A Bit of Fry and Laurie, which was the wonderful sketch show that you did with the fabulous Hugh Laurie. And whilst you're in Australia, I thought I'd share this with the audience. This was you and Hugh's take on an Australian soap, like a Neighbours or a Home and Away. It's wonderful.
God, forgive me.
Enjoy.
I don't know how to tell you this, mate. It's hard for me to say. The fact is, I've been having, well, affair, it's the only word. I've been having an affair with you for some time now. What? It's true. You bastard! Look, mate, you had to find out sooner or later. Rather, it came from me, that's all. You mean we've been sleeping together all this time behind my back?
Just wonderful. It's just wonderful. The accent, Stephen, you got it down pat.
Oh, you're very kind. Well, do you know what happened was that Hugh and I were desperately writing during the afternoon, and Neighbours started to appear on television. And we'd just left university ourselves, and we were doing tours of colleges and universities around England. And we realised that students were obsessed with Neighbours. It had become this cult for colleges because, of course, it was daytime when students watch a lot of television. So we had to do an encore number, so we did that, and of course the students went ape for it. But I talk about as well when we first came to Perth, and I was so enchanted by hearing that there was a telethon, and there was this guy who offered a teddy bear, which he said. And this was the acid reflux Australian voice. He said, this teddy bear is ideal for gift giving interstate and overseas. And it was that extraordinary overseas. And I noticed a few Australians had that sort of slight at the end of the sentence. It's not the AQI, which is, you know, everything sounds like a question, but it was genuine, some kind of acid. And it amused me enormously.
That is, I think that's genuinely what happened to me at the start when I introduced Stephen. I had a bit of indigestion.
Exactly.
And it's nice to know that you cobbled together a Neighbours skit in a couple of minutes, which is more effort than the current Neighbours production team put into their episodes. Stephen, it has been an absolute pleasure. From two comedy fans, we've idolised you for a long time, so it's been such a joy to spend a few minutes with you.
Total darlings.
So if you would like to spend an evening with Stephen Fry, he's currently touring around Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please thank the wonderful Mr. Stephen Fry?